This episode was recorded live at the National UDT SEAL Museum at Fort Pierce, Florida.
Now man, that bottle's my kryptonite, brings a man still down to his knees.
All right, I'd like to welcome Shaun Chittick today, and his bio says retired Navy SEAL commander. As an ensign stationed near the Pentagon on 9/11, credited with saving multiple people after the attack. He's a mini-sub expert and obviously a combat veteran of the war on terrorism. I'd like to welcome you today, Shaun. Welcome to the show.
Honored to be here.
And it's our honor for you to be here. And we're going to have fun. We're going to relax. We're going to go over some current topics of the day. I will start off with something. We'd mentioned prior to the interview, I'll give something for the audience which you doesn't quite understand. I just read retired Navy SEAL commander. But Shaun quickly pointed out to me I was enlisted first. And what you don't know about the special ops community is we take pride in being enlisted, non-commissioned officers. God bless our officers. That's what they do. And there's a need for them because Shaun actually retired at 05, which is a pretty senior rank. But the bottom line is most of your operators, your permanent operators and your special operation units are enlisted. And we take great pride in it. And so when someone like Shaun or moves on and becomes an officer, the enlisted guys, obviously we take a little pride at teasing them and giving them a little bit of shit. Saying, oh, now you're an officer. Okay, right, whatever. So now you have to eat with a fork and knife and be proper. So it's a bit of a inside camaraderie sort of banter, but it's very real for that. So you said you were 01 through 08 and then went officer.
E1 through E8.
E1 through E8. Oh, sorry.
So I had a lot of fun for 16 years. A sled dog, pulling the sled hard, or Dan helping steer the sled. And then they're going to put me in an admin role. And so I was operational for 16 and a half years at time at regular SEAL teams development group.
Right.
And then they said, hey, you need to go do a staff job. And I said, I don't want to do a staff job. And somebody walked by who's applying for an officer program. I said, I don't want to be a stinking officer. And then they said, hey, you're going to go to Fort Bragg and be the Navy Special Warfare liaison, or you're going to go to be senior medical department representative at Group 2, which are both broken people there, people that are tired. I was neither at the time. And so I said, I don't want to do either of those. And I went, put in an officer package, and I got picked up. I got sent to Bureau of Personnel in D.C.
Oh, no.
Right before 9/11. So I went from Dev Group, full steam ahead, Tier 1, pipe hitting, to all stop. I'm in khakis every day driving through D.C. traffic, and I'm looking at people's personnel records and helping out, helping them get promoted and
that is your torture.
Things like that. And then an airliner came overhead of our building, clipped off the HF antenna, skipped into the Pentagon, and worked the crash site all day. Former 18 Delta. I will say that for the most part, most of the people I saw were either crispy critters inside the building or they were walking out coughing smoke. They didn't need a whole lot. I had IVs hung. I was ready to go, ready to get down to it. Cycle people, put them on oxygen, organized teams. We were unloading ambulances and we didn't know what was going to happen. While we were down on ground zero there by the Pentagon, there was still one aircraft in the air. And so the intel we had initially was that aircraft is a second one headed for the Pentagon, possibly the Capitol. We don't know.
Right.
And so we were running around like scared rabbits. Someone would say incoming aircraft, and then we'd all run and hide under a bridge overpass or something like that, and nothing would happen. And we didn't know that that airliner was forced down through some other brave people, Shanksville, Pennsylvania. So it never made it to us. But we didn't know it. I will say what little visibility I had on what was happening on 9/11, because we didn't think it was an attack at first. Once I got down on the X, it's one of those, you get so close to the flagpole, you can't see anything but the flagpole.
Yeah.
So the rumor game was going hard. Somebody said there are simultaneous strikes on the Space Needle, the Houston Astrodome,
All sorts
so
of
much crap was coming out, and there was no way to verify it because it's just a bunch of knuckleheads around the helicopter pad at the Pentagon. And so we didn't know. I'll keep my mouth clean here, but we didn't know what.
No, you're free.
I was going to say
free express
shit from Shinola. Once we got close to it,
you and I both, when incidents happen like this, the first reports are always bullshit.
Sure. So I will. Probably the biggest thing I saw on that day. So a lot of people say, "Well, you have PTSD. You saw a lot of horrible stuff." Yes, and I've seen other horrible stuff in my career. I make a choice to remember the good stuff because a lot of times with horrible stuff coming, you see men at their finest. I think when things are the worst, and so that's what I sleep with. That's what I dream about at night. That's what I think about. That's what I remember. So you say, yeah, was somebody bleeding out? Yes, I saw that. Somebody hit by a car, sure. Plane crash. I remember. I have a recollection of all that. I don't dwell on it.
Yeah.
I dwell on that. I saw some heroic things. So if I could recount one piece on that,
please.
I think 9:40. We had no concept of time. We had watches on, but we're running around, laying stretchers out and escorting people around. About 9:40, all the firefighters took a knee or sat down. It was like somebody flipped a master power switch, and everyone just stopped what they were doing and sat down for a second, for like 30 seconds. And then magically, 30 seconds later, they all stood up and then they went back like nothing happened. I was like, what the fuck just happened? Oh my God. So I ran up to a fire engine, and the youngest firefighter in there, they said, you stay in the engine. You're the command post here. Man the radio and tell me anything that doesn't come over our belt radios. So I went bang down that. I said, hey, what just happened? He said, one of the World Trade Centers fell, and they might have killed up to 6,000 police and firefighters.
Oh.
And it came in through the base station and went out through everyone's belt radio at the same time. And all the firefighters simultaneously took a knee for 30 seconds. And then they're like, back to work. We got stuff to do. We got things to solve, problems to fix. All the horrors of that day,
Yeah.
I dwell on things like that.
Well, it's funny. After your experience and my experience, you'll see the horrors of man. You'll see the atrocity of what human nature can do. But in moments like this, too, there's another side. It's like angels and devils. You'll see humanity at its finest, trying to, doing things that the normal person wouldn't do, fighting through smoke at the Pentagon. I will do a quick point here for the audience who doesn't understand. When you say 18 Delta, that is a nomenclature in Special Forces, the Green Beret world, of a medic. And people don't understand the Special Forces medics are almost to a physician's assistant. They're in training as one of the most intense. And I'll be honest, as a special operator, your medic, that's your doctor. And not only downrange, not only in combat, but back home you say, hey doc, I got this. He's like, well, this is what you need. But they're special operators, and they're part of this combat team. They shooting and running and gunning, but they're also the guys who are going to save your life. And in this case, thank goodness you were there. You had that training, because I'm sure without it, a lot of people wouldn't be around to talk about that day. Thank you. But it's interesting. That day's horrific. We all have our memories of how that is. I'll give you a quick snippet, and then I want to go back to you. You're the guest. This past 9/11, a friend of mine, a local politician in Palm Beach, just told me, Marty, we're having an event, firemen. Can you pass by for 9/11? And I said, sure. So I got up there. I didn't expect to play. I got there and I said, holy smokes, there are fire trucks everywhere, flags everywhere. And I walk in, and the lady said, oh, you got to go sit beside the mayor. And I'm, the mayor of Palm Beach, what are you talking about? And they cheated. They got a cheat sheet of me, my experience after 9/11. And without an impromptu, and everybody was so choreographed, bagpipes, the firemen, and there were firemen from New York there. There were all the firemen, obviously, after 9/11. And they embarrassed me a little bit, and they asked me to come up and do an impromptu speech. Now, I got through it. But in the end, I got to tell you, every New York fireman came up to me afterwards saying, hey, thank you. because we brought a little vengeance on the bad guys after 9/11, and we got our own back. So again, the firemen, they don't forget. They serve day in, day out, and we thank you for that. There's one thing that obviously in today's world, we see movies, we see submarines, we see James Bond, we see movies. You SEALs like to make a lot of movies, unfortunately. No, I'm joking.
No, we did.
But you got the mini subs, you got people going out into this. Now we got drone warfare. Obviously, your experiences in the whole mini sub world. Can you just kind of bring us up to date on that? I mean, I remember when I was in, there was a thing, mini sub, a little bit of that was kind of out there, and you guys had all the underwater toys, but there weren't a whole lot of. But in today's world, you got a whole different plethora of equipment and things to execute the mission. I just, if you could talk about the mini sub, and throw in the drones as well, anything you want to comment on.
Okay, so our mini sub, U.S. mini sub, began around 1954. Memo came out, Secretary of Defense, I think, I don't remember, but copies on my computer. Memo said that we need some means of closing the distance between how close a submarine can get to a coastline and effects on the beach, putting guys in a harbor, putting guys over the shore, and radar installation or something like that. Too far to swim. So based on the bathymetry or the shape of the ocean bottom, or sensors that might be in the area, the submarine can only get so close. And often it would take hours of swimming and in sketchy currents or whatever, and the guys would be worn out before they even got to the beach. So they started looking at the British and the Italians. They had manned torpedoes that they could take into a harbor and put mines on ships and things like that. And we didn't want to quite go that way. We wanted something enclosed and put some swimmers in there, and like a larger limpet mine that's too big to swim, or some other kind of ordnance. So the idea was moving people, closing that gap between how close a submarine can get to a sensitive area and where we want to create effects inside the sensitive area. And with technology, it's that gap is getting wider. We're having to cover larger and larger distances because they can detect the submarine further out. I won't go into the distance, but it's further than you want to swim. And we don't have enough time, hours of darkness, to cover that distance. Now, if you have a scooter, like a SEAL delivery vehicle, cuts that time way down and gives you more options. If you get in and guys get compromised, you can get them out in a hurry. So we call it a SEAL delivery vehicle. I think it's a misnomer nowadays. There are very few places where we're going to get authorization to put SEALs over the beach. Only 4 guys.
Yeah.
By themselves, unsupported.
Right.
With no quick reaction force. So the SEAL delivery vehicle is more, we are delivering electronics, we are delivering packages, dropping caches for guys that are already ashore. Say you go into a country and you can't carry all the stuff you want, or you don't want to carry it because of a signature. You can get in, clean, and then we can give you a beach landing site and tell you, come get your stuff with some sort of mechanism for you to find it and confirm that it's stuff we left for you. And on the same, if we had to evacuate you out, things get hot in the country, we could bring scuba qualified people out over the beach, or we could take their gear and then they just fly out through Comair, take a train, some of them. So SEAL delivery, I don't see much future in delivering SEALs in and out.
Mainly limited because it's 4 people.
Right, yeah, it's for doing things on land.
Yeah.
Now, if they are doing things on something off the shore, like taking pictures or taking samples or measuring something or attaching something,
port reconnaissance.
You need humans, not drones, for that. But at the same time, the detection capability is getting better and better. And so to stray into you wanted me to cover drone warfare.
Yeah. So
there is stuff. Again, we're talking closing a distance. Submarine can get so close. The SEAL delivery vehicle can get so close. They launch swimmers, and then they may get a little bit closer. The risk may be so high where we don't want to put humans really close to something, or we may not have to. So if I have a torpedo that has a sonar collection on it, I can have it go map a harbor. It's going to probably take humans to get close in the vicinity to drop it in the water and monitor it, but it'll run, and we call it mowing the lawn. It'll look at a place and then come back out, and if it's detected or captured, it's an electronic thing. So hopefully we can Z it out and make sure there's no data on it. So there are things that we want to have an unmanned capability to reduce risk to humans. We don't, and you'll verify this, we don't consider ourselves expendable.
Right.
I think we are national policy wise, but at the operator level and at the soft leadership level, we do everything we can to protect our people.
Absolutely.
And because we're probably going to reuse them. We'll send them in once. We need them to come out, give me a report, and then we'll send you in a different place or send you in further, come back and give me a report. It's suicide missions are not things we typically sign up for. Now, we will take a higher degree of risk than other people, but if I can mitigate that with something unmanned, like I really need pictures of this thing. Like you get close, and some people are gonna be in orange jumpsuits tonight on the evening news. National embarrassment. We won't talk about the collection they might have make from those guys,
right?
The information they might get out of them, but they will parade them on TV, and we don't want that. And a lot of times, with the current state of drones and unmanned things, we don't have to.
It's changing the whole warfare. I mean, even all the special op teams, there'll be some sort of technological advantage that you can mitigate. You're right, the human risk.
But so when you talk to the Department of Defense, they're on a mindset of we're going to automate everything. There will be a time when we don't even need humans. Okay, everything breaks, yes. Everything gets lost. Things get tangled if they have.
They always tell you, the techies tell you this works perfect until it gets wet and salt water or either desert dust. I can't tell you, I go nuts on some of our technicians. They say, "Oh, Marty, do this," and you get there and the shit don't work.
Or it goes rogue. It gets loose, and it's like it went somewhere. I don't know where it is.
I don't know. I lost the drone.
Well, do you want to wait for them to find it, and then they know what we're up to, or do we got a team? So we're not there yet. Maybe one day we can get to artificial intelligence and completely sit in a sub with a joystick and like a video game and do everything automated, and humans never need to leave the people tube, the submarine itself. We're not there yet. I would always have humans as a backup when the stuff fails. And to the point of you go in over the beach with all your fancy electronics, night vision and GPS and all this stuff, better have a Munzatic compass or a Silver Ranger for when. Now we're talking GPS denied environments, places where they can mess up your signal.
Yeah.
So all your stuff you rely on it. You see the young kids running around; they love their box. I love it too. It's a good tool. You have to be able to use an old-fashioned paper map.
I can't believe you're saying this because I talk about it all the time. I used to obviously I make fun of our SEAL brother now and again, and our current generation of special operators. You see, everybody's got the sights. I said, if you can't shoot with iron sights, and a compass and a map, you got a problem. Because at some point it goes back to that.
Yes.
It goes back to that.
Yeah, and when, like you said, you brought up several times, all this stuff is great. It helps you get places faster. It collects better information, more reliable, or it records things so you don't have to rely on just memory, like long-range reconnaissance patrols in Vietnam and whatnot. They were fantastic, by the way. They came back, they got debriefed. It was like everything that came out of their noodle got put down on paper and analyzed and then sent for the next mission. Now we can go in and digitally record pictures, video, all kinds of stuff, sounds, tap phone lines, a whole bunch of things. But again, it's technology. Technology is not 100% reliable. And if you're worth your salt, you always have a backup plan. When I get in and I turn it on and the green light doesn't come on, what's my next plan?
I got to crawl. We got to do this old school.
Right.
And it's interesting you say, but we're talking about this because I was in the special ops world, again, for the audience, we believe in you trust your own. You trust your own people. I don't want to hear some 3-letter agency telling me we got eyes on the village and it's all good. No, thank you very much. We appreciate the information, but we need an operator to look at that. Now we have drones, and we can do that, and it's a lot easier. But there's nothing like a special operator's eyes hiding in the bushes, watching, or a sand dune, watching the demeanor of the village, watching, okay, there's only male age guys coming out of this house, and you notice the villagers are kind of staying away from them, showing them deference. I'm not sure. Maybe a drone can pick it up one day, but I'm not sure we're there yet.
Also, and I'm not pushing away against technology.
Right.
It's the wave of the future. Everybody else has got it, and we need to keep pace and stay up with everybody else.
Absolutely.
If I go in with drones to do a objective rally point and a target recon last minute, when I get out and the guy takes it out and he says somehow the 2 terminals were touching on the swim in and the batteries are fried, like drone stays in your rucksack, and you can move up to the tree line, point man and the OIC or whoever the senior guy is, and you do an old fashioned ORP.
Oh yeah,
and then you come back and get your stick out, and all right, here's the update. They said there are 12. There are actually 16, and then there's a vehicle with a mounted weapon. Well, we need to know that. It's not all stop. It's just adjust the plan, literally inside the tree line before we go hit the objective, or maybe
basic skill sets. That came up through old school training, which I'm pretty sure still applies.
It is, but we get spoiled. We say, "Well, I have an electronic thing. I don't need to go through all that. That's just extra work." Well, it is until you need it, and that's the only thing that works is your old eyeball and a compass, a protractor, and a paper map, and then again drawing this stick on the ground. You get fancy PowerPoint plan. We're going to do this in phases, and everything's going to flow. All right. Well, when it doesn't go that way, you're like, all right, guys, heavy on the left. They're going to try to flank us, so I need eyes on high ground, and you're just putting it together, pulling it out of your butt, and rolling through because we don't fail. And then you get to, but you remember that, you bring it back to the debrief and you say, hey, I tried to get the thing airborne, get eyes overhead, or we're getting into some environments you talked about where you may not be able to, we won't own the sky, may not be able to fly something, may not have air cover. So if you things get sideways and you need protection from the air, it may not come from the air. It might be old-fashioned dudes on the ground, might be indige, coming in some technicals to help you out. Maybe it's just a deception op. Some guys are launch and hit something else. Like, hey, look over here. While you're tuck tail and you get your team back out and then try again.
Well, it's interesting. We're talking about this. I mean, our old teams before, your SEAL platoons, your SF-8 detachments, everyone had their nomenclature. You pretty much knew what every group had. Now it's been added with technology and drone operators. And the Secretary of War, the other, basically gave the authority for various U.S. Army units to buy their stuff on the commercial. Don't forget about the process of approval, at least for the normal, smaller tactical stuff. You can buy on the commercial market. And if it works, let us know. So, but I do think that technologies is going to have to be integrated into the whole special ops world. If it already has, I'm sure.
All right. Since you went there, I'll follow up on that.
Yes, sir.
And you'll remember this. In the 90s, we had cutting edge gear. We had stuff no other troops, no conventional troops had. In 2000, right before 9/11, 10th Mountain Division, regular infantry, regular Marines were now outfitted with what we had in 10 years ago. So I've seen young SEALs, and I would caution against it. They put their kit on and they look in the mirror and they're like, I am ready to kick some ass. And so now I'm old and crotchety. So I'll ask them, I'll say, so you look pretty cool in all that gear. Like, you look special. Are you special? And they, yeah, I got night vision. I got a laser on my rifle. I got all this stuff. And I'm like, a couple of things. So first off, I say, regular Army's running around with that. Streets of Fallujah or whatever.
Yeah.
So does it make them special too? Well, no, they're different. Well, if they had exactly the same stuff you have, we pay a lot to get you where you are and take care of you in the field and whatnot and forward deploy you. They're a lot cheaper option. So if the thing that makes you special is all that fancy stuff, that's great. And then, but the other guys have it, and they don't call it. We don't have a long pipeline with a lot of attrition. Economy is going to drive us to use these cheaper options. They can do it almost as well as you
without losing the investment.
So I get, hey, where are you going with this? I'm like, that kit doesn't make you special.
Yeah,
the human wearing the kit is what makes you special. You can make decisions under pressure. Dynamic leadership position when everything goes sideways, you guys pick up the pieces and you run with it, and usually you can pull off a win even when their odds are all stacked against you.
Everything's gone wrong.
And I'm not bashing the young kids out there, the conventional guys, but putting night vision on your ballistic helmet, having lighter weight gear than everybody else, or more fancy electronics, or whatever, higher speed radios, whatever the thing is. That is not what differentiates you from other people, from conventional troops. It should be the human, and like you said, the brain pan, the computer between your ears that makes the difference. And you're going to react, and hopefully you're more flexible, you're more resilient, more responsive, and sometimes you're willing to take some more risk.
Well, a lot of times, if you have commingling units, your conventional unit, and you have an SF unit, a SEAL unit, when the shit hits the fan, suddenly the leadership, the young guys, the conventional guys are looking at the cool guy, the smart, methodical professionals going, here's what we're going to do. This is how we're going to address this problem. Fall back, under fire. This is what we're going to do. Look at us. Look at me. We got this. And that's where that makes that special operator, that SEAL, special.
If you hit a target and for some reason you got rolled up and captured, they stripped you down naked into your shorts, and then you effect an escape. Rally points. There's north. I'm looking at the North Star. I can get to the nearest body of water, hop in the river. I got forces downstream. It's going to be about a 4-hour trip.
Your calculus is automatically changing.
So all your special stuff got taken from you. Doesn't mean you're not special anymore. Okay, you're half naked now, but the computer's still working. It should be, even if they beat you a little bit. But you're still functioning. You're still a fighting, one-man fighting unit. So take action, make decisions, look out for others, that kind of thing.
This is where Naval Special Warfare Command, your SOCOM, JSOC, this is where they take these operators and are constantly advancing the training, making them special. So in the worst case scenarios, they've been exposed to something similar, or at least can relate, shoot, move, and communicate. Think about the problem, address that problem, move on.
Because we're put in scenarios where you can't plan for everything. There are too many unknowns, which doesn't stop us. And in the absence of a commander, we need to be able to follow commander's intent. And
what's the mission?
Yeah. So, hey, the intent is to destroy this facility and make it not function. If I have to haul bags of flour from a warehouse and set up some kind of dust charge,
so be it.
Because all my stuff washed downstream, all my high-speed explosives, there they go. And it's like, what? Do we quit and go home? Or
that's not part of the plan.
Do we keep putting it together?
That's not part of the ethos. That's not part of the program. Failure is not an option. Thank you, Shaun. It's been a great. Thank you for coming. Thank you for your service. And let's go do some submarines.
Absolutely. All right. I appreciate it.